have a quote I'd like to share with you that I learned while first in beauty school. 85% of patrons return for customer service, while only 15% return for your technical skill. Today I'm going to share with you some different ideas on how being a hairstylist has its pros and cons. Specifically, how customer service versus technical skill benefit this career field, the business side, and how the physical and mental demands affect one's being. I'm going to start off with some of the obvious pros to being a part of the beauty industry. I've been a cosmetologist for over 20 years and personally have experienced every aspect I'm going to share with you. I started doing hair way before I was a licensed cosmetologist. At age 10, I had my younger cousins up on the bathroom counter doing their hair and makeup before they went home on a family trip. At age 12, I cut my own bangs thinking I would give myself the recent addition of curve feelers. Yeah, I turned out okay. Then during high school, I was the friend doing hair for all the girlfriends' school dances. Needless to say, I've had a lifetime of passion for this career. It has been beyond enjoyable while I've met amazing people and made lifelong friends in front of and behind the chair. Most hairstylists start in the beauty industry to have an outlet for their creative channel, to share their passion for the opportunity to help others feel beautiful. Many are beyond excellent at their craft, others are just average, and some are just terrible. Several stylists spend countless hours on continuing education to stay current with the ever-changing trends, while some just look in the magazines and say, I can do that. As Gina Rivera stated in a recent article in Huffington Post, when you show excitement, people will come to you. This goes back to my quote. It doesn't necessarily matter your skill, yet your passion to help whomever is in your chair feel amazing when they leave your salon. Hairstylists should try to stay engaged in the craft to serve the customer service side as well as the technical side. One of the greatest benefits of being a hairstylist is the ease of entrepreneurship. It really is one of the easiest ways to work for yourself and make great money. You can set your own schedule, set your own hours, and make the choice to work in an environment that is specific to your vibe and personality. All you essentially need is scissors and a comb. You can work on the corner of a busy intersection or travel the world helping make people feel beautiful. Modern Salon recently put out an article suggesting the pros of being an independent contractor. Here are a few key points from the list. One of my favorites is being able to wear your choice of clothing, having the ease of 24/7 contact to your clients with current technology without being in the actual building, and carrying your own product line. Whether you could booth rent in a traditional salon or become a salon professional in a suite environment, the opportunities are endless. To desire to be self-employed is driven by several aspects. The need to know how to run a business. Will there be a profit after expenses? What is your desire to hustle? And how are you going to bring people to you? Overall, having freedoms of being your own boss as a hairstylist has many positives to make this career enticing. Choosing this career of being a hairstylist has one of the best benefits, being able to make the most impact on your guests daily. You can celebrate their joys and listen to their sadness while helping them achieve the looks of their dreams. Although we don't have the skills to be magicians, we do get to share the love of our craft and being able to touch people's lives daily. This engagement with the human species allows us to be compassionate, kind, and you really need to enjoy working with people. They aren't always pretty on the inside. Sometimes they can be demanding. However, as a stylist though, you have the chance to give the customer a safe environment to sit, relax, feel welcomed, enjoy the services you are paying to receive. These are just a few of the pros I've experienced that have brought great insight into my passion. Now onto a few of the cons. Everyone always says how great it is to be self-employed, to have freedom of no boss. I could go on and on of all the pluses. One of the first cons is the physical and mental demands of the job. Once you've built your clientele, you are highly likely to be booked for several hours of the day for a solid block of time. This creates a situation that promotes hours of repetition. On a long day, I could be booked for several hours, 10 hours solid. I'm coloring, cutting, drying hair with the same arms up, shoulders rolled forward motion, then bending at a never correct height shampoo bowl with a weird kink in your back can take a toll on your body. Plus, standing on your feet for hours can make a person very tired. Let's take all that into consideration and add the mental dump of dealing with clients. First, we have communication with the client, trying to meet their needs, hoping to please them, and understand exactly what they are seeking to achieve during their time in your chair. Then during their time with you, they also take this stint to share their life's ups and downs. In May of 2017, American Salon put out an article in their harebrained quick tips suggesting 3 ways to help combat these demands that I personally have found helpful. Move with purpose. By adding this to your day, you can combat the rigors of any type of repetitive motion or mental fatigue. Number 2, breathe. Take a moment to release the stress of high demands. And then 3, eat nourishing foods to supply your body properly to fuel them for the physical and mental demands. I can definitely say that adding these tips into your day are a much needed addition. While those 2 are probably the biggest demands and the scariest, is the financial side of it, especially being self-employed. The beauty industry can be feast or famine. There are times that you can be swamped with several weeks of being able to not accommodate any last-minute bookings. Or it can literally be quiet and you're praying that the sound of crickets chirping will swiftly be taken over by the chatter of your scissors, making someone feel amazing. To help defeat the ups and downs of the business, I always offer my clients a current referral program. That when they refer someone, they too also get the same deal, which is my reward back to my loyal patrons. I make sure that I budget very conservatively on the personal side when my books are very light on the business side. Then in today's world, social media is another fantastic tool to help bring in business. These 2 negatives can be stressful. However, I think the most stressful can be is when you make an oops on one of your clients' luxurious head of hair. As I said earlier, this is when you pray that your customer service prevails and the day you're on your off game will pay off. I know personally, and probably all in this room at one point has received a less than stellar haircut from me. Yet they continue to return because of the beyond excellent service they received at the time of the visit. Thankfully, with my skill set in trying to keep my business, knowing how to fix most color mistakes, my customer service skills have triumphed over my bad skills day. In the big picture though, the positives really outweigh the negatives with my choice of being a hairstylist for over 20 years. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, how do you combat the slow times? How do you budget for the slow times versus how what you expect to make? So how do you make that work for you?
Well, I have an approximate base of clientele. So let's say I have 100 clients in my books, and I can go year over year average of who will come every 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks. So I have a minimal base that I try to budget off of, and then anything above that is beyond extra. Any other questions? Okay.
Do you rely on tips?
I try not to rely on tips. I like to pay my bills based on my prices versus my tips, and my tips are usually extra.
You talked about demands, physical demands versus just kind of trying to appease the customer, whether it be their haircut or what they want to talk about that day. What is more demanding, the ability to cut their hair or the ability to counsel them?
I think the ability to counsel them is definitely more demanding. Sometimes I've had people in my chair share with me that they are drug dealers,
Oh my gosh.
or that they're having an affair. And when you're not experienced in that situation, you can just only show empathy and compassion to them and kind of help them maybe just be a sounding board while they're talking through their garbage.
Explain how emotional it can get when you have cancellations and things like that.
It is very frustrating when people cancel and you've, bottom budgeted that baseline and you don't know how to add that, say, $100 back into your budget for the week. Or if they cancel and no show, that's great. If they cancel and come back the next week, that's easy because I budget for the whole month. I don't budget week to week.
Do you, I guess, offer, if you lose a client, do you offer them any sort of discount to get them back? Or
No.
better?
Because I sometimes feel like at some point, and recently I've experienced this, that you kind of can't help them any further. Like your communication is not working, they're looking more for my skill set. And so if they want to go, then they are free to go, search out another stylist. Or if they do come back, say, and I've had people who have come back, I will offer them my $80 new client special after a big time period. Because then they are coming back to me. I didn't ask them to come back. Good question. Any more? Okay, thank you very much. Michelle Mulligan.